Hello, everybody. Good evening. How are we doing? How are we feeling? We are back. We are back live. Second day after the redemption. Is it after the recovery? Yes, it's a Tuesday. We are back. Nice times, good times. To be a United fan, yeah, we never cry so long for a long time. And we also don't celebrate for a long time. But it's good. We are here counting down the days to get to see United play again. Yeah, a few days to go till we get to watch some EPL games. Yeah, it's good to see you, everyone who's joining, everyone who's coming online. Karibuni sana. And let's get the show started. So, yeah, my day was good, to be honest. My day was amazing. We had a tough day at the office. Of course, it's always tough at the start of the week on my day job or in my day job. And yeah, I'm feeling a bit jaded, to be honest. I'm feeling a bit tired, to be honest. But yeah, the show has to go on. The show has to continue. And yeah, I'm glad that things are working well. So far, so good. Can't complain. How has your day been? For everyone who's joining, how's your day been? How are you faring on? How are you surviving without club football? Yeah. So today we are going to discuss about the United veterans or United legends or United former players criticizing the club. Basically, we are eating our own. Last time, a few weeks ago, we discussed about the toxic environment at United. Basically, the fans fighting each other, arguing with each other, targeting the players online, targeting the coach online, having nasty words. We also talked about and mentioned about how some United fan channels are taking advantage of the negativity to get headway, to get clicks, to get likes, to get followers, because it's all about the money. Yeah, so some of the United legends, former players, ex-players who've been criticizing the club, they are being paid as pundits. And we know pundits have to give an opinion. But now I was wondering, at the back of Paul Scholes' recent comments, was it necessary to actually say those words, as well as why can these ex-players be a little bit positive? Back the club, at least for once. Because we've seen a lot of ex-players, they are asked about the club, they are asked about Amorim, they are asked about the players, and most of the time they are quite negative about the club. They are quite against the current regime, the current manager, the current players. You wonder, is it that they don't want the club to get to where they were? Probably they are fearing that they will get forgotten or something. Because you look at other clubs, other legends, they quite defend their club, they defend their players. Look at Liverpool. Some ex-players, former players are defending Florian Wirtz. They are defending Isak. They are saying that we need to be patient with them. But when it comes to United, you have ex-players who are actually very, very critical when it comes to the players. So you really wonder, is it because they are getting clicks for that? Is it because they want to get paid? At the end of the day, a pundit is paid to give their opinion. So is that the case, to a point where some comments don't make sense? That's what I've been wondering, especially when I saw those Paul Scholes comments. We are going to look at them. Just want to make sure that the comments plugin is working, because I'm seeing some comments are coming through. Yeah, so I'm wondering, at what point do you start supporting your own? Even if you're getting paid to say negative words, at what point do you start saying, hey guys, as much as you're paying me as a pundit, I also have to back my club? Simple. Because when you have now an ex-player, a legend, a club legend, someone who we consider a club legend, coming out and criticizing even the recruitment, criticizing the players week in, week out, at no point can they come and say, hey, look, things have not been working out. Can we at least be a bit patient? Yesterday we talked about and mentioned the Trust the Process campaign that Arsenal had. And we saw ex-players also jumping onto the campaign saying, let's trust Arteta, let's trust the process. But when it comes to United, and I like what Dolphin here is saying, I don't know why the comments are not showing up, that they are looking for clicks and traction. True. Pundits are paid to speak. That's their job. They are paid to speak. So if they don't speak, then they don't get paid. End of debate. So why then can they speak highly of the club? Why then can they come and say, oh, you know what? Cunha, Mbumo and Sheshko are still new players. They need time to adapt. Sheshko is a young striker. He hasn't played in the Premier League. He hasn't played at that level. Let's give him more time. Let's see how it goes. But all of a sudden it's, the club is not signing United kind of players. Come on. I'll show you the tweets. I don't know why the comments are not coming on, but hopefully, let's see. Hopefully they'll start coming on. I don't understand why the comments are not coming on. And thanks for everyone who's joining. Yeah, we are just starting, or we've just started. I see Teddy is in, Diffre, Maina, Jimmy. Yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. I just want to make sure the comments are coming on. Don't know why this chat always does this to me. For some reason. Oh, I don't know what's going on, guys. Let's see. Let me just try this again. Let's try this again and see whether it will work. Yeah. So anyway, I was stating about the recent comments about Paul Scholes, what he said. He came out criticizing the recruitment. He came out criticizing the club, saying that the recruitment is all wrong. The club is buying players or is recruiting players that are not United kind of players. So which begs the question, what constitutes a United player? What would you say makes someone a United player? And I want now to show that tweet, to make sure that I show it to you so that you know what you're discussing about. And this is what Paul Scholes said. He said, I think today the people who decide on recruitment at the club don't know what it takes to be a Manchester United player, the manager included. I'm wondering, is it warranted? Are his comments valid? Was it the case that every United signing signed under Fergie was a United player? Or is it now that he's no longer playing for the club, he can say that? And I will also show you something I posted, as a response to it. This was posted by Center Devils. It's one of the biggest United pages, fan pages, run pages on X. And you see those comments, you're like, whoa, hold on a bit. Let's think about it. Fine, we've signed players. Some of them have become successful, like Bruno. Some of them have been quite good, like Casemiro. He's been good at times he's not. We look at players like Ahmad. A young player has come on, is performing well. So when we were signing these players, what criteria were we using to say that these are United players, these are Manchester United players? Or when we go to get coaches, we're saying these are Manchester United coaches. What criteria are we using? What sort of requirements do they need so that we say definitely this is a Manchester United player? And it's based off of this quote by Paul Scholes. If you can't see it on TikTok, feel free to jump onto our YouTube channel. We are streaming also on YouTube. You can head over there so that you are able to see. Unfortunately, I can't quite zoom in so that guys on TikTok can see. But guys on Facebook, Kick, YouTube are seeing bigger image. Yeah, so I'll read it again. So Paul Scholes said that I think today people who decide on recruitment at the club don't know what it takes to be a Manchester United player, the manager included. So basically that means the manager does not know what makes a United player. The recruitment team does not know what makes a United player. So that's why I'm asking. And I want also to hear from you in the comment section. What criteria can we say makes a United player? Because such kind of words, such kind of criticism, and it's not the only one that we've heard from Paul Scholes in terms of criticizing the club and other ex-players. And I like what Dolphin has said there. I call you Dolphin because of the name, the emoji. I told you I'm poor with names. You might have told me your name, but I forgot. Yeah, you said quite frankly there, and I like it. I don't know why the comments are not working today. They are looking for clicks and traction. That's it. A pundit is paid to speak. That's their job. That's their job. They're paid to speak. But now, if you're an ex-United player, why are you speaking poorly about the club you played for? Like the club that gave you the platform for you to become a pundit. If you didn't play for United, you couldn't have had that platform to speak out, to become a pundit, to get paid to say those words. I've seen them having this, is it called the overlap on Sky? You listen to some of the things they are saying, they're like, come on. Even the fans that are representing United community or United fans in that show, they don't fully represent me. And I'm sure most of you are not fully represented by them, because some of the comments they make there are absurd. Yeah, you are a fan, you've been invited to the show, probably you're getting paid for it. But we will not always agree with your opinions. And your opinions will not always represent the Manchester United and the fans. That's your opinion. But now when we have an ex-player who's played for the club supporting negative opinions or coming out and saying bad things about the club, now we have to draw the line. Is it that you don't want to succeed because you succeeded? You don't want to see United succeed because you succeeded? You don't want the current squad, the current team to surpass your success? Is it that the case? Is it a case of jealousy? Is it a case of jealousy that, hey, I don't want to get surpassed? And it happens. It's human nature. It's like, let's take your place of employment or where you are or where you work, if it's your shop or something. If you leave, you wouldn't want the new employee to come and outperform you. Or if a new guy comes into the office, you wouldn't want them to outperform you. It can be a case of pure jealousy. It can be. But if you claim you love the place you are, or the place you are, you claim you love United, why would you speak negatively about them? Just come out and support them and say, hey guys, it's becoming too much. I'm supporting these guys. I was there. Things might not be working the way they were when I was there. There is a change, but let's give them time. United is a big club. Let's give them time. Let's see how it goes. Simple. You don't have to come out and start saying the recruitment is all bad. And you start asking yourself, did every signing that Sir Alex Ferguson made, did it work out? And I'll go to the response that I posted. This is the response that I posted. I hope I can be able to maximize it so that you guys see. This is what I responded. I said, Bebe, Obertan, Kleberson, Ralph Milne, Veron, Jemba Jemba, Zoran Tosic, Manucho. All of them were signed under Fergie. Were signed by Fergie and they didn't work out. So when they were signing them, which criteria did they use to say that they are United players? Which criteria? Okay, fine. Let's say every recruitment that has been made post Scholes, post Ferguson, they are not United caliber. They are not United players. Then which criteria do we use in January and moving forward in the transfer window? Which criteria do we use? Yeah, because if let's say you're operating a garage, you're a mechanic, you'd go for someone who suits your philosophy. Let's say if it's work ethic, if it's someone who's studied for, let's say, an engine work or servicing, you have a criteria. So what criteria makes it or is used to sign players at United? so that we can say, oh, this is not a United player. He looks like a Southampton or a Liverpool player, so let's not sign him. Or are we supposed to sign players that are from Manchester only, so that we say they are Manchester United players? Or are we supposed to sign players from a certain region so that we say these are Manchester United players? So Paul Scholes, that doesn't make sense. I love Paul Scholes. He's a club legend. But this does not absolutely make sense. Saying that the people who decide recruitment don't understand what it takes to be a United player, the manager included, doesn't make sense at all. It's like he was thinking of what to say as a response, and then that came out. And one thing I love about certain ex-players like Giggs, like Beckham, they rarely speak about United. And when they do, they actually have good, valid points. Even the criticism they have, you feel that the criticism is genuine. The criticism is wanting things to improve. And the criticism is all about growing the club, not putting the club in bad light. Even when the media tries to coin it to look like it's a negative criticism, it's not. But you look at some of the comments made, you're like, did you ever play for United really? You can't have Carragher, a rival ex-player, then he's speaking poorly about United, and then you have Paul Scholes in the same forum echoing what he's saying. Doesn't make sense. Honestly, doesn't make sense. Probably you guys know what he meant, or you understand what they're saying, but I don't. I don't know why the chats are not working, honestly. Why are the chats not coming through? Let me see whether now they'll work. Because I'm already seeing some comments coming through, but I can't be able to highlight them. Let me give it one more try. If it doesn't, I'll just read them out. But I usually like to appreciate you guys by highlighting your comments on screen, because the UKG squad is a United squad and a Manchester United fan squad. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, so I keep saying about the negativity. For those who've been with me since day one, you know that for me, I don't ride on negativity. I'll always defend the club. I'll always defend the players. I'll always defend the coach. But I'll also call out where things are not going well. Criticism is good, but you can't always keep criticizing. There you go. Now we have the comments. Miss Mercy, thanks. You've dropped 100+ likes on TikTok. Karibu sana. To Blake Kimtai, thanks for joining the UKG family. Thanks for joining the UKG squad. Feel at home. This is one of the best Kenyan fan channel you'll find. And we also have guys from all over the world. We have fans from Singapore, Indonesia, Nigeria, Ghana. We have fans all over. We have not even fans, family members all over the world. So feel at home. Bleki Mutai, welcome on board. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the comments are now coming. Even Roy King wasn't a United fan when we signed him. Until now, he admitted he's not a United fan. Yeah, look at that comment. Let's look at that comment. Roy King was not a United fan, and we consider him a legend. In fact, he was a captain. So when we were signing him, at what point did we say this is a United player? What criteria did we use to say that Roy Keane deserves to play for Manchester United? What criteria? When we took David De Gea from Atletico Madrid, what criteria did we use to sign him so that we say this is a United player? When we went to Sporting and bought Bruno, when we went to let me go all the way back. When we went to Sporting and bought Cristiano Ronaldo, is it that the player said, this guy fits the criteria of what you want in a United player, or did they buy Cristiano because he was a good player? he was a young talent. So that comment from Paul Scholes doesn't make sense at all. Doesn't make sense at all. Isaac Mushanti, you're saying ex-players can't be better than Amorim. Exactly. Look at Gary Neville. He's the worst Valencia coach ever. And they say it. In fact, is it their sporting director or CEO or someone, one of their top brass, top officials came out and said Gary Neville is their worst manager in their history. And the same person criticizes the club, criticizes Amorim. And I wonder now, with Paul Scholes there, give him the recruitment team. Ask him to recruit players. Ask him. He can't do that job. Ask him to coach. Probably he wouldn't be able to. He owns a club. He owns Salford, right? Him and other ex-players own Salford. Where are they now? Where are they playing now? Why are they not winning all the trophies in their level? If surely, yes, he knows which players can become United players, then why not Salford? Spend the money, buy players that are worth of Salford, and come all the way up to the Premier League and win everything. Win every trophy that they have. They do participate in the EFL Cup. Why haven't they gotten to the latter stages of the Cup? When was the last time Salford won trophies? So he's willing to criticize the club he played for, but the club he owns is not performing well. So if you know better about recruitment and you're advising United to recruit players that are United players or fit being United players, then do the same for Salford and say, look at what I'm doing at Salford. So quick to criticize United, but they themselves, they don't. What does that verse say, or what does that saying say from the Bible? You're seeing the speck in your neighbor's eye, you're not seeing the log in your own eye. Gary Neville failed at Valencia. Failed, absolutely failed. Then he is now criticizing Amorim. Carragher has never coached. He didn't win the Premier League trophy. All of a sudden, he knows what it takes to win a Premier League trophy. Come on. Thoughts on Højlund doing well? Of course he will do well. You can't compare Serie A with the Premier League. You can't compare. In terms of the pace, in terms of the physicality, of course they are much closer to the EPL in terms of physicality. But the EPL is very physical. It's quite fast. And the third thing is, he does not have the media attention that he had at United. I'm sure at Napoli he has missed many chances, but we only get to see highlights of him scoring. In the EPL, we used to get clips of him not controlling the ball, clips of him giving poor passes, clips of him complaining or sulking. The clips we are seeing from him or about him from Napoli, we haven't seen any clip of him giving a poor pass. We haven't seen a clip of him receiving the ball with a poor fast touch or misplacing or not controlling the ball. We haven't seen any criticism when it comes to him losing and sulking or him complaining. So if we want to judge his performance, let's be quite honest. At United, every ball you pass will get a clip. Every ball you miss will get a clip. Every goal you miss will get a clip. At Napoli, only getting to see short clips of him scoring and saying, wow, all of a sudden he's a top player. Then what the criticism you used to get at United, why not do it now? Say, yes, you scored 1 or 2 goals, but how many did you miss? Probably 12 or 5 or 7 or whatever. Then we judge. So that's my view on Højlund. Yeah, I always knew he was going to do better at Napoli because it's a different league, no media pressure. The weight of the club is not like United, and not many players can come to United and actually handle the pressure. It's a totally different animal. You even see, or you've heard of read from Casemiro, from Varane saying that United is a totally different level. Juan Mata said the same. Mason Mount recently said the same, that at Chelsea, the pressure is not at the same level like United's. United is a totally different animal. I don't even think globally Real Madrid players get the same sort of criticism that United players do. Imagine the first season of Mbappe at Real Madrid. He didn't work out well at the start. Will he have survived at United? Will Mbappe have survived at United with the way he was playing the first few games? Look at Alonso at Real Madrid. What sort of criticism do you think he could have received? Yeah. The problem I have with Amorim is subbing Euro always. He's the coach. He's the coach. There's nothing much you can do there. And Amorim is known to sub a defender every game. And it goes all the way back to his Sporting days. That's him. I agree with you. That's a problem. It's something we don't agree with. We not always agree with the coach. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Before we digress, I just want to keep on about the topic of the day. So let me see. For him, Anthony, thanks for chatting, as well as Isaac Mshanti. Thanks. I'm not ignoring your chats, Isaac. I'm not. I'm just saying we first focus on the topic of the day, then now we'll start discussing the rest. I've minimized that window, or I've pinned that point about Euro, and we'll come back to it. Anthony, thanks for commenting. You're saying for him to even suggest Diego Simeone says it all. Exactly. Yesterday I said, when Amorim was being rumored, or the talks had started that Amorim will become the next manager, everyone in the media was like, yes, this is the guy. A young upcoming coach, exciting. He has a philosophy. He has a way of playing. He's the guy to go. He will come and discipline these players. He has disciplined players at Sporting. Let him come and he will succeed. He loses matches or goes through a rough patch because he's trying to do what we wanted him to do. Then all of a sudden we're saying, Simeone is good. Areola is good. Glasner is good. Remember when Erik ten Hag was being signed by United? Same thing. He plays young players. This is the United coach. He will bring up academy players. He will use the academy. He has a style of play. He's playing modern football. Look at Ajax. They have a very low budget. They were able to get to the Europa League final. United beat them. They were able to get to the Champions League semi-final. Yeah, this is the coach. This is the coach you need. He came in. Same media turned on him. So the same would happen to Diogo Simeone. They'll start saying, United is an attacking team. Simeone plays too defensively. And they already know Simeone plays defensive football. But they'll come and start saying, well, he plays defensive football. That's not the United way. It's not in the United DNA. Get rid of him. Get someone else. Now they start pivoting another manager. Who do we pick? It's a never-ending cycle, to be honest. That's why yesterday I said I didn't want to speak poorly of anyone. I didn't want to bring anyone down. But the media has poisoned our minds, to be honest. Yeah. And Anthony, exactly. Simeone of all people. Yeah. Look at that. I would have said someone like even Fabregas. That one I would have been, at least you're thinking. But Diogo Simeone? How come other clubs are not going for him? Have you ever asked yourself that? He's a top manager, yes. He's been at Atletico for all those years. How come no other big club says, now let's go and try to get him? How come? Ask yourself that question. He's a top manager. He's not like Zidane, who right now everyone says, I want Zidane, or Klopp back then. Every club was saying we want Klopp, including Real Madrid. Or Amorim. A lot of clubs wanted him before United signed him. Why is Simeone not one of the top coaches that other clubs say, hey, we want to sign him? Why don't we get rumors about him? J. John, thanks. I think it's the first time I'm seeing you on the comment section. If not, I'm sorry, but thanks for commenting. You're saying Gary Neville alionyeshwa giza kama coach. Trust me, coaching is not for everyone. A few years ago, I used to coach. Not football or soccer. I used to coach field hockey. And I did it, I would say, if I'm being honest, relatively well, but it got to a point where I was like, I need to get more coaching badges, I need to get more experience, I need to go out there and actually research. So I started doing the coaching badges, but it got to a point where balancing work, family, and the club life became very, very tricky. Then after that, I went into management, club management. I was heading a women's club, and having that experience from being a player, being a coach, being someone who's running a small club at that time, but right now it's a big club. I would say that's why I think I'm objective when it comes to criticism. It's not easy. I'm telling you, whatever Amorim is doing, we might not see it on the pitch, but behind the scenes, that guy is working hard. Ineos and Amorim are working hard. It's like a duck. A duck on the surface, on the water, you'll see that it's calm. You see just gliding or floating on the water. But below the surface of the water, it's pedaling hard. The legs are like this. The webbed feet are like this. But even a goose, you see them just gliding, but bottom, their feet are working hard so that it can be able to move. It's the same with coaches. And if you want to know that Amorim is frustrated, just look at him at the touchline. That guy is always frustrated with the team. He's always angry. I rarely see him smile, to be honest. He's always frustrated. He's always angry. So Neville, what he experienced, I'm wondering, why can't he have an objective view when it comes to... Yeah, sometimes Neville has an objective view, but most of the time he's like irrational, if you are honest, based on my opinion. Kuna kijana na hawa... kuna kajina na hawa ex-players kutaka kuwa coaches, nimesahau. Pocket coaches or something, yeah. I don't understand that comment, but... all I can say is people will talk. When you're outside the kitchen, you don't know the heat. When you get to see cooks there making stuff, you complain that the food is taking long, but the heat, the pressure is quite different when you're on the other side of the counter. Even though I still feel Amorim is not the right man for the job, though. I wish you were in yesterday's show. Or if you were, I'll just point to what I said yesterday. If the media, I'll ask you this question, and I posted this question on all our socials. If the media right now are saying give Amorim time, I'm sure you and a lot of people will be saying give him time. I'm so sure of it. Most of us, or most of the fans, saying they don't trust Amorim, or Amorim is not the right guy. It's because of that bias, as well as the narrative like this is not the right guy. Since Sir Alex Ferguson, he's the first manager to have the guts to drop players who are not performing, to drop players who don't have the right attitude, to control the dressing room and telling them, hey, you can't post on social media anyhow. You can't post cryptic messages. No other manager had the guts. And now he's doing it. He's disciplining the players. Yeah, there are some things he's not doing well, like you've said, Anthony. Or who said it? You said, yeah. Was it Isaac? Yeah, Isaac said he's subbing Euro always. So it's human is to err. Human is to err. Things will not always... The way I'm thinking is not the way you guys who are watching are thinking. We have different mindsets. We have different backgrounds. We think differently. And for us as fans, like right now, We are at our homes, at our offices, wherever we are watching this show, and we don't know what's happening at the club. We don't even know whether the team trained today. We don't know. We don't know what Amorim goes through. If we are honest, Anthony, we don't know. We just get to see 90 minutes of football and a few interviews here and there and a few clips of them training, but we really don't know what happens there. And as I've said, you'll always see him frustrated with the team, shouting at them like, you're supposed to be there, you're supposed to pass there. I can't remember where I read this, but someone was saying that the players nowadays, the generation of players we have nowadays, across board, not only in football, whether it's in rugby, whether it's in field hockey, I experienced it recently. I went to watch some games and had a chat with some coaches, whether it's all sort of team sports. Most coaches are experiencing players that can't think for themselves, can't get out of a crisis by themselves. The coach has to shout instructions every now and then. And yesterday I said, if you need a coach to beat Grimsby, if you need a coach to beat Brentford, if you need a coach to beat Fulham, then you're not a good player at all. You're supposed to play semi-pro football, amateur sports. Because that's where the coach will shout instructions, because they don't get to train 8 hours a day for 5 days or 4 days a week. You're paid to play football, so you should be able to think for yourself. It's like an employee who's being told what to do. Even if you give them work, you have to sit next to them to tell them, now this is how I want you to write the report, this is how I want you to extract the data. So as much as, Anthony, I appreciate and I acknowledge your comment, I'm not against you, I'm not fighting you. All I'm just saying is, just look through what has been happening since he came in, the behind the scenes work he has been doing, the sort of signings him and Christopher Vivel have been doing. They are not setting up for now. And yesterday I gave a very, very good analogy or example about chapati, and I posted that video on TikTok. You want to eat chapati, but you're not prepared to go through the process. Your neighbor is already enjoying his chapatis or their chapatis, for the sake of being politically correct, their chapatis. So they smell nice, but for you want to get the chapatis now. You don't have all the ingredients, but you want to eat them. So you bring in a cook, you give them the unga or the flour, you give them the heat or the jiko or the cooker, and then you tell them, now cook, and I want it in the next 2 minutes or in the next 5 minutes. It can't happen. Realistically, it can't. You haven't given him salt, you haven't given him cooking oil, you haven't given him the pan, you've just given him the flour and the heat. And then you're asking him, how come the neighbor is eating chapatis and we are not? So to reference to Amorim, have we given Amorim all the players he needs so that we say he's not the right guy for the job? And I also gave reference to Arne Slot. If Arne Slot was getting the results that Amorim is getting, and he has that Liverpool squad, then we can say he's not the right man for the job. Because last season, Liverpool won the league with Klopp's side. Basically, that was Klopp. Klopp is the one who won the league last season. Right now, when Arne Slot is trying to have his philosophies and change the way Liverpool play, they've started struggling. Even the games they've won recently, it was a close margin and getting a lot of extra time. So, Anthony, have we given Amorim all the right tools he needs to make the chapatis? And if we've given him the right tools, will the chapatis be ready in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, or 2 hours? A question to you. Yeah. J. John, you're saying Hoyland is being fed by KDB. He was being fed by a lot of our players and still couldn't score. Yeah. And I like that, Isaac. Hoyland was fighting with defenders, no regrets. Mateta is better than him. Hoyland just needed, I said yesterday as well, he needed to have a senior striker with him at United so that he can help him settle, as well as help him, let me bring up the chat in, as well as help him settle, help him get the experience for the Premier League. Because Premier League, if you come in and you're a young striker, it'll take time, like Mateta. How long did Mateta play in the Premier League before he started scoring? We see the end product of Mateta, but we don't go back and ask ourselves, how long did he play at Crystal Palace for him to start scoring? So a question to you, Isaac, as well. Anthony is saying, I feel we will do well in our game versus Liverpool. I also have a feeling we'll do well. For me, I'll go for a draw. It will be a difficult game, but we will play well. Let's see. Have you seen Mike Oliver will be the ref? It's jinxed already. Yeah, let's talk about that. How come that this referee is given this fixture 3 seasons in a row? That's odd. Last time he gave, was it last season or the other season, he gave Dalot for a red card for protesting. Dalot got a yellow, then it was elevated to a red, second yellow. Then he has to ref again. I think PGMOL, as I said in the previous show, the one we did before the international break, there is a lot of corruption there. Things are not good. Things are not good. Let's see. Paul Scholes never played under VAR system. Football has really changed. Exactly, Isaac. Exactly. These guys were played in a different era. Right now, we have tacticals. Tacticals are guys like us who have a podcast here. Guys like you who analyze the game. Guys like pundits who analyze the game. Back then, they did not have such kind of pundits who had screens. They could roll back the footage, draw circles and triangles and lines, and analyze the game after it has been played. And I said the good thing about my experience in playing both soccer and field hockey, as well as coaching and managing, is you get to have both contexts. Like as a player, you can't pause the game midway and start analyzing. Or the coach, as a coach, I can't stop the game midway and start coaching. Saying, no, you guys are not running the way we trained. And then you tell the referee, okay, we've spoken. The team, my camera is a bit off. Yeah, we've spoken as a team, and now we are ready to play. We've sorted out the issue. We don't have timeouts in football. We don't have a timeout that you say, hey, timeout, go change a few things, then you say, now play. We don't have that. These guys have those smart screens. They will go draw circles, draw lines, show the space. He should have played the pass here. No, that can't happen during the game. And no single game is the same as the other. We saw it. City lost, then they beat United. Yeah. A Villager, you're saying you're spot on Rasmus. Thanks for that. Yeah, you can't compare EPL and Syria, as well as the pressure on Hoyland right now is far much less. As I said, when you're a player and you have that much pressure, you go to social media and you're being tagged, you're being told you're a flop, you're an expensive flop. Of course, it chews you up. I have a theory that PGMOL have been bought by the gambling companies. It might be so. There should be an inquest. Let's see how Mike Oliver performs this weekend. Let's see how he performs. If he's biased against United, or let's say Liverpool get 7 minutes added on, then we know there is an issue. Anthony Jarusinga, you are saying that's why they talk much. Yeah, they talk because they are paid to talk. And it gets to a point where it's like they are thinking on the fly. They are not thinking before they say whatever they want to say. Like this one here. Let me see whether I can bring it back. these comments from Paul Scholes. I think today the people who decide recruitment at the club don't know what it takes to be a United player, the manager included. Then you ask yourself, when these guys are recruiting, what criteria are they using to say this is a United player? And we've seen that comment. Let me see whether I can get it back. Roy Keane was never a United fan. Yeah. Roy Keane wasn't a United fan when he signed for United. And he went on to become the club captain. So these guys will talk. Pato Ranking, welcome on board the UKG family. Feel at home. We're always here from Friday to Tuesday at 9 p.m. We get to rest on Wednesday and Thursday. Of course, spend time with family. Yeah. Isaac, you're saying Sheshko, Kunya, Ahmad, Zakzi are the only technical players we have in our team. We need more ballers. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. This is the sort of thinking I've been telling you guys. Let's actually analyze the problems, the actual problems, not listening to what the media is saying. Let's analyze for ourselves. Let's have a discussion. That's why I like being objective. That's why I like such comments. And I said, if I wanted to be a big page or a big platform, I would be always negative. For example, I would have come here and say, Paul Scholes is right. None of these players are United players. But am I being objective? And when you look at that comment from Isaac, you can add players like Delict, players like Yoro, player like Mbumo, like even Bruno at times. He's a technical player. Let's give Amorim all the right tools, all the right players, the right environment. Then let's judge him after that. And that's why I like what Radcliffe said. Let's give him time. Let's support him, then judge him. But you can't support someone you can't judge someone without supporting them. Like I've said, you can't give a cook flour and heat or jiko. You can't give the cook unga and kuni and then tell him, I want these chapatis made in the next 2 minutes. You haven't given him the matchbox. You haven't given him the cooking oil. You haven't given him the salt. You haven't given him the pan to make the chapatis, and then now you want to sack him because he can't make chapatis with the few tools you've given him. Right now we are asking Amorim to race in the Grand Prix or in the F1 series with a tractor or a Pro Box. Yes, a Pro Box is fast. It runs fast. I'm not criticizing Pro Boxes. No, I'm not. But I'm saying you can't give someone or even the best F1 driver a Pro Box and you tell them, now I want you to win the F1 series with this Pro Box. No, he can't. However much of a good driver he is, he can't. He simply can't. He simply can't. Or you give someone a djembe, or you give them a slasher and then you're telling them, I want you to dig and plant this 1 acre piece of land. You've not given him the right tools. You sack him, you bring in another one. Let's say you sack the F1 driver, you give another good driver the Pro Box, and then you're telling them, okay, now the other one did not win the race. Now we are hiring you to win the race. And then when he comes in, you give him the same Pro Box. You say, oh, we've serviced it. We've given it new tires. Like African Stoic you're saying here. A tractor costing 500 million pounds. Yes. Let's say even goes and gets the Pro Box or the tractor wheels worth 2 million pounds. And then goes and says, I've painted the graphics, or I've painted the body, or I've done the body works with another 100 million. He says, I've done all these things so that this Pro Box can be able to run in to race in the F1. Can't happen. We know Amorim doesn't have midfielders. We know that. And the media is not saying it. I haven't had any pundit, any media personality come and say, let's give Amorim the midfielders in January and see how he performs. No one. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. Get that comment, get that quote of any media personality or pundit who has said that Amorim needs to get the players he needs. And then now you post it on the comment section. I'm waiting. Honestly, I'm waiting. I'm willing to bet on that one. I'm willing to bet on it. They knew we needed to replace the goalkeeper. What did they say? Onana was a top keeper, United is the problem. They knew we needed to replace the defenders. What did they do? Maguire is an England legend. He took them to the finals of the Euros. He should be playing. Rashford with his poor attitude. Oh, look at him now, he's at Barcelona. United is the problem. You go back, you look at the 5 managers who've coached him. All of them are saying the same thing. He has a poor attitude. Sancho, you've seen the recent scandal that is on X about him using balloons. That's why he can't run. Ten Hag said it. Amorim saw it. But they won't come out and say, oh, this player should check themselves. They are coming out and saying, oh, United bought him for 75 million. They should be using him. They spent a lot of money. Yesterday, we saw the negativity on Sheshko. Look at other clubs. They are saying, oh, this coach needs this. This coach needs a player. This coach needs a winger. This coach needs a goalkeeper. They said City needed a goalkeeper. They didn't come and say, oh, Ederson has won titles. Why is he not performing? Then Pep is the problem. No, you'll never hear that. Never hear that. Bruno has missed crucial penalties. I'm worried that my captain is playing with tension. He is, of course. I think also the Saudi news... mosquitoes are biting me, sorry. The Saudi news... it's like what happened to Baleba and United. The Saudi news is like it disoriented him, as well as the change of position to midfield. He doesn't enjoy playing there, but Bruno loves the club. He loves to play. So we also have to consider that. The other thing I mentioned a while back is we've never really experienced Bruno going through poor form. Since he signed for United, I've never seen Bruno experience poor form. He has never experienced poor form. I've never seen Bruno with poor form. I don't know whether you guys agree with me. I've never really seen Bruno have that poor run of form. Never, ever. Never. This is the first time I'm experiencing that from Bruno. I'm seeing him experience it at United. He has always been giving 8 out of 10s every game. He's always been the top player. And right now, you also need to consider another thing. Why does my camera keep slipping? Oof. Come on. The other thing we need to consider about Bruno is Mbumo is there, Cunha is there, Mount is there. And they're also creative minds. And Bruno was always used to be the top creative player, the only creative player at United. Right now, he has all these players. And those players, where they came from, Cunha, where he came from, Mbumo, where he came from, they were also top players, key players. Bruno was used to be the go-to guy. All play was going through him. Right now, we are asking him that, hey, look, we now have other players who can actually be key players. So that's also another shift that we need to consider. But I agree with you, he should have scored those penalties. If he did, we could have gotten 3 more points from Fulham and probably a draw from Brentford or even a win. So those were 2 crucial penalties he missed. Let me see. The media are scared of Amorim staying at United. Third party too. Thanks for commenting. You're saying the media are scared of Amorim staying at United because they fear glory days to come. Yes, actually that's true. That's very, very true. Including Ten Hag, including Mourinho, including Ole. That's what they did. Yeah. And they've been poisoning the fans' minds. I said yesterday, in Kenya, for those guys who are watching globally, whenever we see a shop painted green, it can even be a container or an aluminium shop, basically aluminium sheet shop. We call them mabatis. So whenever you see a mabati shop painted green, what comes to your mind? An M-Pesa shop or a Safaricom shop? And it might even be a green grocer. Or it might be someone who also has the green color for his brand. But whenever we see it, our minds tune to, that's Safaricom, that's an M-Pesa shop, or that's a Safaricom shop. It's the same with us. We've been hit so many times with negativity, we can't see anything positive. And I like this comment because Amorim is actually setting the club in the right direction, and they are scared of it. I've seen a lot of guys saying, oh, the England coach is saying that Marcus Rashford has a high ceiling, so any coach who does not want to use Rashford does not deserve to be a coach. Then I'm like, come on. The guy was recently dropped at Barcelona because of showing up late. It's the same issues he was experiencing at United, same things he was doing at United. Coming to training late, coming to match days late. Why are you not talking about that? So Amorim said it. It's how you train, how you eat or what you eat, how you interact with other players. That matters. And I like how he's been ruthless with the likes of Garnacho. Go. We don't care whether you'll go and become the best player in the world, but you are not going to be indisciplined in this club. And Fergie used to do it. He got rid of those big name players who are misbehaving. Yesterday I gave you a brief history of how Ferguson came in. When he came into the club in 86, 87, he found a drinking culture in the club. Players were drinking before the game, after the game, during the game. Some of them were not even training well because they are drunk. And he got rid of big names that back then people used to love. And then guys were like, no, this is not the right guy. Others were like, yeah, we can't have players who are drinking. So now if you have a player who's playing FIFA till 3 a.m. and is supposed to report to training at 7 a.m., do you still want the same player at your club? How the academy players, what will they learn from this player? If, let's say, JJ Gabriel sees Rashford coming in late and he's playing because he's a top player, won't he do the same thing? He will say, I'm talented. I can dribble and score. Rashford is the same. He's a top player. He dribbles, he scores, but he gets to come to training at 9 or 5 instead of 9. So why can't I do the same thing? So Amorim has been setting standards. He has been setting standards. He dropped Cunha, brought in Mount. Why? Why? None of us knows. So similar questions we need to ask ourselves. Antonio asking, do you like how Ineos have dug in his feet to back Amorim? Absolutely. I love how Ineos have supported him. That's what I wanted, basically. And before we went to the international break, in one of the lives, I said, we will get to know during the international break whether he will go or whether he will stay. And I'm glad to hear from the club, from the horse's mouth, from the big boss himself, that they are giving him 3 years. We need that. I'll keep referring to the Arteta and trust the process campaign. Everyone was saying trust the process. When they were having a bad run of results, trust the process, trust the process. Look at Arsenal right now. They made a blunder of going for Gyökeres, in my opinion, because Gyökeres cannot suit or will not fit Arsenal's playing style. That's my opinion. Because Gyökeres is used to transitional football, like the way United are playing. If Gyökeres went to a team like Brentford or went to a team like Liverpool or even a team like United or let's say even Real Madrid or PSG, he would have still scored a lot of goals because they play transitional football. Transitional football is where you quickly turn defense into attack. Arsenal rarely do that. Look at Martinelli. Martinelli is a good player for transitional football. if Martinelli plays in a team that, let's say like Brentford, like Bournemouth, that player will score a lot of goals. But Gyökeres is not that. So back to my point about Arsenal. Arsenal were one player away from winning the title, and that's a striker. Now they have a striker, and they are at the top of the table. So if Gyökeres continues to perform, whether it's scoring, whether it's assisting, whether it's opening up the channels, Arsenal surely will win the league. Arsenal were always one player away. The last 3 seasons, they were always a striker away from winning the league. Compare now that team we used to hear trust the process with now United. A rough patch kidogo, get rid of him, we get another manager. Another rough patch, get rid of him, we get another manager. When will we ever complete the cycle? I'm surprised Luke Shaw has played 7 games full-time without an injury. He needs to stay fit. He needs to stay fit as well as tone down. He looks quite heavy. But to me, I wouldn't play Shaw. Eden Heaven is the future. And I don't know what's happening. He got that injury in the Fiorentina game. Ever since, we haven't seen him. Of course, we have a few games to play. But let's trust those young players. Anthony, you're asking, do you believe the theory that Bruno has not been good for our club and it has hindered our growth? To some extent, yes. To some extent, yes, in terms of what I mentioned. Right now, we have Cunha, we have Mbumo, we have Ahmad, we have Mount. So the play doesn't necessarily have to run through him. We were used to having him being the key guy. Whenever we need to create, it's Bruno. Whenever we need to score, it's Bruno. So we need to get to that point where it's now a collective. It's not an individual, it's a collective. And I like this comment about PSG. Because that's what PSG saw. They saw that everything has to run through Mbappe, or everything has to run through Neymar, or everything has to run through Messi. And when they got rid of them, it became a collective, not an individual effort. So that theory about Bruno hindering our growth, to some extent, it is true. The only way we can sort this out is now Bruno agrees or is prepared to do what the likes of Van Persie did, what the likes of Rooney did. Rooney sacrificed his own play, his own style of play for the collective. Rooney has played a forward, has played a winger, has played a midfielder to make sure that as a collective they are winning games. So, for example, right now we expect Bruno to be a central midfielder. So that means he needs to be more disciplined in that position. But since he was used to being the key creative player, he roams a lot, and we have gaps in midfield. So, yeah, to some extent, that theory is true. Yeah. Then you're asking, Osimhen would have fit Arsenal better. Exactly. Osimhen will have been a better. You see, even Šeško himself, Šeško will have fit Arsenal very well. Because Šeško is used to all sorts of play. He's used to transitional, he's used to pressing, he's used to playing tiki-taka. He's also good in terms of aerial threat. So Šeško will have been a better fit for Arsenal than Gyökeres. But let's wait and see. The season is still young, still 7 games in. Things might change. Gyökeres is still adapting. It's a different league, and he's an experienced player. So with experienced players, sometimes it may take longer for them to adapt compared to younger players. Younger players might come in within 6 months, they've picked up. Experienced players, sometimes they come in and then they have to unlearn and learn again or relearn. Like the way they were used to playing, it's now different. Like how they were turning defenders, they come here, they find, oh, I used to use this style to get away from defenders. Now I can't. And then the other thing about the Premier League is the level of analysis in the Premier League is crazy. Teams have coaches that actually sit down to analyze one player. Just one player, how he's running, how he's receiving the ball, how his the first touch is, which foot he prefers to shoot from, which positions he likes taking. So all that. Imagine now Gyökeres coming to that league where even how he receives the ball is analyzed. So the last few comments before we end the show. Anthony also asking, do you think that Chido Obi Martin has a future in this club? Yes, he does, but he's becoming impatient. There has been some talk that he wants to move away from the club. The club will try to get a loan move for him in January. For me, I would keep him. I'll try as much as possible to convince him to stay. Unfortunately, with us playing few games this season, it's difficult to give the young players chances to play. Probably when the FA Cup starts, it's when we can get those chances for young players to rest the first team players. But also the first team players, there are some players who are not getting game time, like Zaxi, Kobe, Aiden Heaven, Yoro. They are still not getting game time. So for me, I would agree with that news or those reports that the club will loan him out in January. They are looking for an equally challenging club, let's say a Premier League club or a Championship club or a foreign club that is playing in the highest level. Yeah. So Isaac, you're asking, I feel Mount will bench Cunha if he stays fit this season. He's press resistant. I don't think so. I think Cunha will play. It's just that for him, he's trying too hard, as well as he has taken a lot of time to settle because of the injury. If Cunha didn't get that injury, I'm sure right now it will be difficult for Mount to bench him. But I agree in the sense of some games Cunha will play from the bench. For example, the Liverpool game, I wouldn't be shocked seeing Cunha start from the bench because of the pressing. So, and that's a good competition to have in the team. If you have two players fighting for the same position, they always make sure they elevate their skills so that they can outdo each other, and in the end, it helps the club. So in some games, yes, Cunha might start on the bench because of pressing, because Cunha is not quite good in pressing. Mbumo is good at pressing. Sheshko is good at pressing. Mount is also good at pressing. Who else? Dogu, as well as Ahmad. But Cunha, I think he can also improve. He's 25. That's his prime. He can improve. That party, you're saying, I really wonder why the media is silent about Liverpool. Actually, they haven't been silent. They've been quite defensive of Liverpool. Let me get one of the comments from Tim Sherwood before I end the show. Tim Sherwood. What did Tim Sherwood say? He actually came out to defend Liverpool. So let's see. Yeah. I'm scared of playing this clip because I suspect the reason why our account got blocked is because of us playing a clip from online. So I'm a bit scared. So I won't play the audio, but I'll just show the content. Again, if you're on TikTok, you can't be able to see the text. Feel free to jump onto our YouTube channel. You're also live there. You can be able to see properly, legible. So Tim Sherwood said, let's not panic about him. Tim Sherwood believes Florian Wirtz will be a success at Liverpool. The same Tim Sherwood was very critical on Pogba in 2018 when he went, I think that it was the whole season or I think some time without scoring. The same Tim Sherwood. He was saying that Pogba for 100 million player, which of course we didn't buy Pogba for 100 million, it was 90 million, that he should have scored more. Let me see whether I can get that. Yeah. Let me just show this one. So Tim Sherwood, for failure to score assists just over a month, meant Pogba, even after winning the World Cup, looks like a championship player. That's what Tim Sherwood said. And then now failure to score or assist by Wirtz means that let's not panic about him, that What changed? So they are talking about Liverpool. They are talking about Liverpool. They are. It's just that they are very defensive of Liverpool. So third party, trust me, they are talking about Liverpool. But they are being very defensive. Like they are saying, Isak just recently signed. He didn't have a preseason. He will come good. Oh, Florian Wirtz came from Germany. It's a different league. Give him time. But when it comes to our players, Sheshko himself came from Germany. But they are saying that now he is becoming a flop. He is not worth that amount. Anthony is saying Dogu needs to improve his crosses, though. He does, as well as decision making in the final third, as many other players. Isaac, you're saying, what's your thoughts about Ugarte as player so far? Ugarte is a good player, unfortunately not for the Premier League level. I'm sure if Ugarte goes to another league, he would perform well. I'm sure Ugarte, if he goes to another league, let's say goes back to France or goes back to Spain. Portugal, or if he goes to Spain or even Italy, I'm sure Ugarte will be a top player in Italy. And one thing we don't acknowledge about Ugarte is, I think he's 25 now. Let me just confirm. 25, Ugarte age. I think Ugarte is 25. 24 years. Ugarte is 24 years. So if we are honest, he has not really matured per se when it comes to 33. No, Ugarte is not 33. Ugarte is 24. I'm looking at it right now. Ugarte is 24. But we expect him to perform like a 25, 26, and 7-year-old. So for me, I think Ugarte is still learning, as well as one thing that I think has destabilized Ugarte is he went to Portugal after a few games. He went to PSG after one season. He came to United, so he really hasn't had a good run of games. As well as when he came to United, he was not playing all games. So we can't really judge him because of him jumping from different teams, being coached by different coaches, as well as now coming to a much difficult league. 2 coaches so far. So the settling process has taken more time. Right now, he's not even playing the games as well. So some players like Ugarte, Anthony Martial was like that. They need a run of games to get match fit, to get that rhythm. So I would say Ugarte is a good player, but right now for the Premier League, he's not at that level, if you are honest. But he looks 33. No, he does, but he's 24. Jeff, thanks for coming on. We can push until we can push the next 5 minutes. Anderson and Wharton will solve our midfield. Kinda, Carrick and Scholes replacements, yes. It's not kinda, they will be Scholes and Carrick's replacement. Yesterday, remember, Jeff, we said we haven't really replaced most of those players. We haven't. So if we can get those 2, if we have the money to, why not? Oh, third party, sorry, I think I misread your comment. You said he looks. Yeah, he looks 33. He looks old. There are players who are like that. For example, if you look at Dogu, let's be honest, if you look at Dogu, he looks like he's 26, 27. Yeah. If you look at Sheshko, he looks 18, 19. So there are players who actually don't look their age. You look at Haaland, he looks like he's in his 30s. And I know City fans would be happy with me saying that, but do I care? Isaac has been really active today. Thanks, Isaac. You're saying, I think we should get rid of Martinez. He's becoming a problem to the team, thinking loud. I would say let's see how it goes this season. He's actually now being... there are reports that he will start training with the team this week. As I said last time, that probably he'll be fit by December. So let's see how it goes. If the injury problems are not gone, then I agree with you. But funny thing though, such players usually go to another club, and all of a sudden they start performing. Look at this guy who won Ballon d'Or. Sorry guys, I had a very, very long day, so I might be zoning out. What's his name? That tells you I'm tired. It's been a long day. Dembele. Thanks, Isaac. You look at Dembele. Dembele at Dortmund, he was a good player. Very young, exciting player. He went to Barcelona. Injuries upon injury. He went to PSG. Now he has won the Ballon d'Or. So the same thing might happen to Martinez. Gets injured. He goes to another club. Then you find he's one of the top 10s in the Ballon d'Or lists. Or he wins the fifth pro player of the year, the FIFA player of the year. That can happen. Sometimes there's also an element of luck. So he might be having bad luck at United, but I would love to see him back. Honestly, I would. And I don't like the idea of him playing in midfield. Honestly, I don't. I don't know why guys are saying we play him in midfield, but I wouldn't. I would rather have him play as a left centre-back instead of Shaw. Do you believe the theory that Baleba is playing bad to reduce his asking price? It might be. It might be the case. Although he was asked the other day, was it on Sunday or Saturday, he said no, he had a knee injury in pre-season, so it has affected his rhythm. But of course, he can't admit that he has downed his tools, because it would be a bad picture for potential suitors. And number two, it will be a breach of contract. So let's see how it goes. If we sign him and he continues performing poorly, we'll just know we got a raw deal or a bad deal. If he comes and performs well, then we will say that the theory is true. The hypothesis and the theory is true. Yeah, Jeff Ahmed, you're asking, what do you think about Heaven? I love Heaven. I love Eden Heaven. Eden Heaven is I mentioned earlier that he's the future. We need to be playing him more. The only thing I don't like about Amorim, to be honest, and when I say don't like about Amorim, I'm not saying that I want him out. No, I'm just criticizing. Is Amorim tends to be harsh on young players when they make mistakes more than he is harsh on certain old players when they make mistakes. For example, Eden Heaven, I remember he made a mistake in one of the games. Can't remember which particular game. He made a mistake and we conceded a goal and we lost that game. And since then, he's not been getting games until pre-season before he got injured in the Fiorentina game. You look at players like Casemiro, players like Ugarte, players like Bruno himself, make mistakes. Dalot, many mistakes, but he's never benched. So that's one criticism I have of Amorim. But Eden Heaven, we need to play him more. I would prefer to have a back three of Eden Heaven, De Ligt, and Yoro. Because those players are young. De Ligt is still young. And those players are quite athletic, they are quite physical, and they have a passing range. Those guys can actually play football. They can actually pass the ball. If we don't have Heaven, then play Martinez. But Eden Heaven needs to be playing, Yoro needs to be playing, and I hope we get to see Len Yoro. But we have a good problem, and I like the good problems we have at the club. For a very, very long time, we've not had good options. You remember back then we had injury-prone players like the Iceman. Sorry guys, I told you when I'm tired, my names, they get deleted from my register. Lindelof, there it has come. Lindelof was always injured. The other Cote d'Ivoire player, what was his name? The African guy. Bailly, yes. There you go. Bailly and Rojo. Those were our options and they were always injured. You look at right now, we have good problems. You have Mazraoui. You have Edenhaven, you have De Ligt, you have Maguire, you have Luke Shaw, you have Martinez. And all these players, the last two I've mentioned are injury prone, but those are good options in terms of defense. That's a good problem to have. Even the good problem you have in terms of attacking midfield. You have a lot of options, and that's a good problem to have. Yeah. Dumfries will be a free agent next summer. Hope we chip in for him. If I'm honest with you, Jeff, I don't expect him to sign for United. I don't. Because Liverpool will want such kind of a player. And of course, Liverpool right now are promising more than United. Unless United make the Champions League, I don't see a player like Dumfries signing for us. And right now, remember, United are not offering huge wages to attract players. They are not. So Dumfries might go to, let's say, Barcelona, might go to Real, Bayern, Liverpool, because the Liverpool signings they've done for the wing backs, it seems that they are not working out. Another team that might attract him is Arsenal. Which other team? Which other team can I think of? PSG I don't think so, because they have Nuno Mendes. But they might want a sub. Even Juventus can. Napoli. So Napoli is an option. He might want to still stay in Italy and sign for Napoli. Yeah, so Jeff, sorry, I'm not being negative. It's just that I have a feeling he won't sign for United, to be honest. Because he would want high wages. Honestly, as a free agent, he would want high wages and high agent fees. That's why we didn't sign that striker that went to Juventus. Yeah. Can you sacrifice Mainu for Wharton and Anderson? Absolutely. I will sacrifice everyone as long as it means we get the right players and we start winning. For me, it's not about the players. I love Mainu. Trust me, I love Kobe. But if we can't find a place for him to play, if we have to sell him so that we fund those moves, I would rather have those regrets that we should have kept him. But let me have those regrets if we are winning titles, we are winning games. There is no point of keeping Mainu. We miss out on players we actually need because we love a player. I've grown in an era where I've seen top players leave the club and United were still winning titles. I've seen Beckham leave the club. I've seen Ronaldo, Cristiano leave the club. I've seen Roy Keane. I've seen Yab Stam. All those players leave the club and United was still a top team. So for me, it's not about the player. It's not about me preferring a certain player. Even if it means Bruno leaves. I love Bruno. But if Bruno leaves and we get to buy Wharton or Anderson and we start actually winning matches and challenging for the title, I'm up for it. I've gotten to a point where I've decided no, I'm not Player FC. I'm not Manager FC. I'm just Manchester United FC. So if it means sacrificing one or two players for us to get the team we actually want, yeah, we've seen PSG and we've read a comment there. PSG sacrificed their top players. Look at them now. Look at them. Barcelona the same. They sacrificed their top player. Real Madrid got rid of Casemiro and bought in who? And right now they are a top team. Liverpool sacrificed Coutinho. Who did they bring in? Coutinho left. Liverpool won titles. So for me, I would sacrifice anyone. Even if it's Sheshko Mbumo or Cunha. If that's what it takes for us to start winning games, I'm ready to sacrifice anyone. Third party, I agree with you. We don't sign names nowadays. Yeah, we don't. Because those names will attract high wages. They will. For example, my hometown is Nakuru. That's where I come from. I come from Nakuru City. And There are a lot of public transport circles, a lot of matatus that go to Nakuru. And one of the biggest names is Molo Line. So for you to use Molo Line, you'll have to pay the premium. You'll have to pay for the name. As simple as that. Because it's a top brand. Similar to iPhones and Samsung. You'll get another phone. Like personally, I love Vivo phones. And I'm not endorsing them or I'm not advertising for them. Honestly, I'm not. Because they won't pay me. I'm a small account, by the way. But I love Vivo phones. Xiaomi are also good phones. So you find the phone that I have right now, I'll give an example. When I bought it, it had similar features to a Samsung S22 for quarter the price. Similar features, similar OLED screen, similar frame rate, similar RAM, similar space. Camera is even much better. And I bought it for quarter the price, brand new. So if you're going for a Dumfries or an Oshimen, you have to pay premium. Yeah. That part you love Redmi, exactly. So if you love Redmi, I'm sure when you check the specs on that phone and you go to check an iPhone or a Samsung that has similar specs or even a Sony Xperia, you'll find that it's triple, double the price. So if you're signing names, you'll have to pay premium. For example, when we signed Ibrahimovic and Cavani, we had to pay premium. We had to give them 500k, 300k, 400k a week for us to convince them. Yeah, so right now, for me, names, no, and we've had trouble with that. Papa, you're saying, and thanks, I think it's the first time you're coming onto the live and commenting, you're saying we don't have super subs like Lingard, Chicharito, Park, McTominay at the moment. True, we don't have. The only, I think, super sub we have at the moment is Kobe. Because Kobe comes in and changes the game. The other super sub is who? Let's say Mount, if he's not starting. Or if Mount is starting, Cunha can be a super sub. And you know why we don't have a super sub is because of that pressure. The fan pressure, the media pressure that certain players have to play. So we are so focused on the starting 11, you are not focused on the squad. You look at Arsenal, you look at Liverpool, you look at City, even Tottenham right now, they have options. You look at City, they have Ryan Chaki, they have Mamouche, they have Savinho. You look at even Chelsea. Chelsea right now are a good example. You take one player off, you bring another on, a much similar profile, even better. Like right now, we are having fans who are complaining about Kobe being on the bench. They want him to play. I'm like, we also need good options from the bench. We also need good options. Like, if Sheshko comes out or is injured, who will play there? We don't have a similar striker. Honestly, we don't. Joshua Zirkzee is not a striker. If Sheshko is unable to score, we don't have a Chicharito or an Ole Gunnar who can come in, get a hat-trick. We don't. As I said, the media has poisoned our minds to think that the starting 11 should be the perfect one, then the rest are rubbish. No, we should have good options. You remember Sir Alex Ferguson used to have a squad for Champions League, he used to have a squad for Premier League, he used to have a squad for Carabao or Carling Cup, and he used to have a squad for FA Cup. Players like Jisun Park, they were big game players. They used to come in whenever we were playing AC Milan, Real Madrid, whenever we were playing Arsenal, Liverpool. That was his games. But whenever we were playing Sunderland, Stoke City, he was not playing those games. He wasn't. You look at the twins, Fabio and Rafael. They were not always playing all games, but there were certain games they were playing. You remember when we beat Arsenal 2-0 in the FA Cup quarterfinals? When was it? Was it 2000 and what? I can't remember. Was it 2000 and something? Ferguson played 5 defenders. One of the twins, I can't remember whether it was Rafael or Fabio, he played in midfield. And we won. So we have this mentality, and of course the social media era has poisoned the players' minds. They want clicks, they want endorsements, because their names are being called on social media. So they are not willing to sit on the bench. They are not. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Semenyo as a player? He is a good player. Unfortunately, we didn't get to sign him. He was our first option. But he realized that Cunha and Bumo are getting more wages than what he had negotiated for, though. So he said, nah, I'm not coming to United. So he was actually to come. He was actually to come to United, but the deal broke down because Cunha and Bumo are getting more wages than him. I think he was offered 70 million. Cunha was offered, I think, 150 or 130, or the other way around. I think Cunha was offered 150, Bumo 120 or 130, something, or one. I think one got 180, the other one got 150. So when Semenyo saw that he's getting around 70, he was like, no, you have to pay me like this guy. So the deal broke down. And then he signed the new contract. So that means if we are going to buy him, we are also going to pay a lot of money because he has signed an extension, he has signed a new contract. I love Semenyo. He has worked hard. He's trained hard. He's made himself to become a key player at Bournemouth. He has also made himself to be a top player. So when we bring him, the Amorim system, the wing-backs are wingers. The wing-backs are not necessarily full-backs. They are wingers. And Semenyo will be a perfect fit for that system. But if Semenyo is coming, it means that Dogu goes to the bench. Or Ahmad, one of them. So yeah, Isaac, I would absolutely break the bank for him. Big names attract huge wages and are difficult to sell when we want to. Yeah, like Anthony. And you see him speaking ill of the club. It's like, come on, guy. We gave you the platform. You didn't perform. Now you're saying it was a difficult time. If you couldn't perform, just say, yeah, I didn't perform. What's your take on Sheshko being voted as worst signing? That's just bull crap. So sorry for my language. That's just BS. That's nonsense. Jeff, that's just... Let me speak in Swahili kidogo. Hiyo ni ujinga, ni upuzi. Ni upuzi, if you are honest. Ni ujinga. Because... kwa sababu alisign for United. Hiyo ni upuzi tu. Hiyo hata ufai kuipatia attention. Hiyo ni ujinga tu. Hiyo... Hata hiyo kitu imefanya nichoke zaidi. Imefanya nikachoka. Hiyo ni ujinga, my friend. That's stupidity. That's foolishness of the highest level. In fact, if you are hearing this and you are the agent who voted for Sheshko as the worst signing, you should feel ashamed for yourself. You are a bad image to the agents community. Sheshko and his agent waived their fees so that Sheshko can join United. Sheshko did not take the loyalty bonus. The agent said, don't give me the agent fees. Because if those fees were added, then the deal would have not happened. And remember, Newcastle offered more, United offered less. The player still chose United. Sheshko has played 4 games, and in those 4 games, he has scored 2 goals. Isak has scored 1 goal and not in the Premier League. He had a very poor game with Sweden. He forced a move. He broke bridges, relationships at Newcastle to force a move. He got more wages. He got a huge loyalty bonus. The agent got a lot of money. That's why they were pushing for the move, because it's all about money. So when they say that Sheshko is the worst signing, it's because there was no money involved for the agents. It's not about footballing reasons. No, it's all about the agent fees. Whenever you see agents push for these players to be signed, they add something. You find that a player is worth 50 million, then the agent says 20 million. So the deal goes to 70. Then now, of course, you'll start saying, hey, how come this player is not worth 70? Like Elanga. Elanga is not worth 55 million. Let's be honest. Yeah, Florian Wirtz, 007. How is he not the worst signing? Not even that. James Trafford. James Trafford was to go to Newcastle and be number 1 keeper. Rejected. Newcastle went to City. 2 weeks later, they signed Donnarumma. Now he's number 2. He was number 1 where he was. He refused a chance to go become number 1 at Newcastle, which is still a top club. then chose City. Then 2 weeks later, they sign Donnarumma. Now he's sitting on the bench. And that's a better signing than Šeško. 4 games, scored goals. Florian hasn't scored, hasn't assisted. Isak has only scored 1 goal, I think, in the EFL Cup or which competition. I can't even remember the competition. Wissa from Brentford went to Newcastle, tore his ACL out for the entire season. And that's a better signing than Šeško. Come on. It's all about the agent money. Jeff, it's all about the agent money. Ndio nasikia nikisema ni upuzi. Ni upuzi hiyo. Hiyo ni upuzi. Yeah, so actually we've extended a lot today. It's always good to have a chat with you. So in case you have any other last question, any other thing you want to ask me about my opinion, I can answer before we end the live. It's always good to have you guys on. Third party, thanks. Mad respect to you for giving us 100+ likes on TikTok. You're also asking, even the lap is a better signing. Yeah, he is. Compared to Florian Wirtz, he is. He is, absolutely. And for one thing, I'm glad we didn't sign him. I'm so glad we didn't sign the lap. I'm very, very glad we didn't sign him. Yeah, so that's it for today, guys. We usually don't go live on Wednesdays and Thursdays. In case anything happens, like major news, we might go live. We usually take a break on Wednesday and Thursdays. We go live from Friday to Tuesday. But of course, keep your notifications on. We go live every Friday to Tuesday from 9 p.m. And we appreciate everyone who has been with us, who has been on the live, everyone on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Kik as well. So keep safe, sleep tight. It's late. If you haven't taken your meal, please do. I haven't taken my meal, but now I will do. Let me read the last one from Papa as I finish. We need a draw or a win because in the last 2 games at Anfield we shared points. Yes, we do. My prediction is a draw. I think that game will be a boring 0-0 draw. That's my opinion. Yeah, so thanks guys. Cheers. Have a lovely evening and see you next time. Bye-bye.